Hello and welcome to my creative space. Welcome to another DIY video. Today I have some outdoor Valentine's Day decor. I know you're gonna love it, so let's get started. This project is super easy. All you need is some Dollar Tree tablecloths and these adorable sparkly hearts. The first thing I'm going to do is take the sparkly hearts apart. It's really easy to do. They have rings that unites them together, and all I did is cut them off. I'm using pliers. I'm pretty sure you can use scissors, but I thought they were going to be harder to do, so I'm using pliers. The hearts also have some hangers. They're like some rings that are attached to the hearts, and I also decided to remove them. They're really easy to do. You just twist them down and they come right off. Okay, the next thing I do is grab the tablecloths because this is a Valentine's Day decoration. I am using a light pink and a darker pink. And what I'm going to do first is once I unfold the initial folds from these tablecloths, I find the half and then I cut that in half. Then you're going to end up with 4 pieces. You're going to take each piece and you're going to cut that in half as well. And you're going to end up with 8 pieces, and that is going to be 8 bows. Now once I am done doing that, I grab one of the pieces, fold that in half, and then I make a bow. It's a really simple bow. Once you have your bow, then you just fluff it up and your bow is ready to go. Okay, for the tails of this bow, I decided to cut those in half because it was too wide for me. And then once I did that, all I did is dovetail the ends. I do end up trimming them a little bit shorter just because we're gonna put this together into a garland. And for my door, the space between the top and the door, it's very narrow, so I needed to trim them more. Okay, now to add more of a Valentine's Day touch, I added these beautiful sparkly hearts to the middle of the bows, and I think they look adorable. Now what we're gonna do is start putting together our garland, and I'm gonna hot glue the sparkly hearts in between the bows. So I'm gonna do bow, sparkly heart, and then another bow, and then another sparkly heart. What I would suggest if you're going to be doing this project is to measure your door to make sure that you have enough to go around. What I'm doing for mine, or what I did for mine actually, is I used 4 bows and 3 of the sparkly hearts, and that fit perfectly. Now, this is what it looks like. This is what is going to go above my door. Now, for each side of the door, I'm going to be doing this instead. I'm gluing the sparkly heart and then the bow at the bottom because I want them to sit straight, and they turned out super cute. And once I glue that down, to connect the little sparkly hearts, I'm gonna use this twine. It's pink, and that's gonna be holding the hearts together. Now what you can do is glue them all at once. I decided to start gluing them individually because if I do it all together, I'm gonna have to run the twine through the hearts, and I don't want to do that. I want that to stay clear, and this is my personal preference. What you could also use is a fishing line, some clear thread that you can run through it and you won't be able to see. I just didn't have that, and this is what worked out for me, and that is all for this project. I just continue to add more bows and hearts, and that is it. I love this project. Let me show you the end result. Project, I'm going to be using this planter. I'm going to use another tablecloth. I'm going to use floral foam, some moss, some Valentine's Day decorations, and some greenery. The first thing we're going to do is start with the tablecloth, and this time I choose the darker pink, and we're going to unfold it again. We're gonna also cut it in half, and we are going to be using one of those halves. You're gonna end up with 4 pieces. We're gonna need 2 of these pieces. Now these ones, I leave them as long as they are because we will need them this long. Now I grab the initial piece and I'm doing a bow just how we did the ones from the past project. Now once it's all fluffy, I did not like how sloppy and how flimsy that was. So I take this Dollar Tree placemat and we're going to use that to make our bow stand straight. And what I do is add a little bit of hot glue and then I wrap that placemat into or I guess with the tablecloth. Then I hot glued that down, and once it's secure, then we're going to do our bow. And for that, what I do is start by finding the middle, and then we're going to start folding it like an accordion style, and that is going to make it look like it's cinched in the middle. Now the placemat, it is tough, so this is why doing it this way will make it faster and easier. Then to secure it, I use a zip tie and I secure that down. Now I'm gonna take one of the other pieces and I'm going to use that as the tails, and I'm gonna secure that as well with another zip tie. Now for the tails, I'm going to also dovetail them, and once it's done, we're gonna put it to the side for now. Now the next step is to put something heavy inside the planter because this is gonna be outside and we don't want it to blow away. I also decided to add a wooden dowel because I don't have something to fill in this space, and you'll see what we'll do next. But I am gluing the wooden dowel to the bottom, then adding these heavy bricks that are going to help our planters stay in place. Now I cut this piece of cardboard to fit in there to fill in that space because I am going to glue the actual floral foam to it, and we're gonna add our green moss. And adding that wooden dowel to the middle helped a lot with raising this and not having to put anything else to fill it in. Now I'm gonna take another wooden dowel and glue that right in the middle. That wooden dowel is going to hold our bow, and I am so sorry that you're having to see my feet right now, but this project is a little bit higher than normal, and I wanted to show you when I glued the bow. I glue it right onto the wooden dowel, and then I use another piece of the tablecloth to cover the zip ties, and we got our bow. It's looking great. I also added a little heart because we need that touch of Valentine's Day, and then all is left is to add greenery. So I went through my stash of greenery and I fill that in. Then next is to add more of a Valentine's Day touch, and I have these sparkly red and pink little hearts, and I place them right in there. And I also added these bigger red hearts, you'll see in a second. But that was so for this project. I absolutely love how this one turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I am going to show you the end result. For this project, I'm going to be using these sparkly hearts. I'm also going to use burlap ribbon and some other Valentine's Day ribbon, as well as some sparkly hearts. The first thing I'm going to do is take these hearts apart, and we're only going to use the larger one. I'm gonna take the burlap ribbon and we're going to hot glue this into our heart. I'm using this burlap to make my wreath bigger, and the way I'm gonna do this is giving it some ruffles so it doesn't have to sit there flat. Once we make ruffles, it looks really pretty. Once I'm gonna turn it around in a second. Here, how pretty is that? I absolutely love the contrast between the pink and the burlap. Love it. And the way I do this is by ruffling it in the back, and the closer together you have your ruffles, the more fluffier is going to be. And once I got to the end, I'm gonna glue the ends together, because if I leave it as is, it opens up and I don't want that. So I hot glued those two pieces together, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. Now I want to add a bow to mine, so I'm gonna take these that I found at Dollar Tree. This one has the red hearts, and it goes perfect with the theme that we got going on, because our garland and our planter do have red on it. I did wanted to add some red, and so I add this one. Now I make a simple bow, cinch it in the middle, and then I use zip ties to secure it. I'm gonna be doing another bow the exact same way, but with the pink ribbon. And then I want mine to be a little bit more fluffy, so after I did that one, I was like, I need more. So I took the leftover ribbon I had and loop it around together, cinch it in the middle, and that is definitely going to make this bow fluffier. Now I'm gonna zip tie it together, all three bows, and then once I fluff it up, this is what it looks like. Now we're going to hot glue that. I decided to glue it to the side to keep the heart intact, and once you look at it, you can still tell it's a heart, but you can glue it to the top, bottom, anywhere you want. Now I'm securing it down with hot glue, and I do glue down this sparkly heart, but we're gonna come back to it in a second because we're gonna make a change. The next thing I do is glue these sparkly hearts to the burlap. These ones are the same that I use for the bows that we use in the garland, and I started playing around with them. I really like how it looks. I felt like the burlap was looking pretty plain, so I decided to add these little hearts, and I love the look so far. And here is where I go back to the bow, and I found this other sparkly heart, and I glue that right in the middle. Then I add our initial pink heart to that, and I love it even more. Now I wanted to add more red, so I found these wooden red hearts, and these ones are actually, or I got them last year from Dollar Tree, but I'm sure you can still find them, and if not, they did have some felt red hearts that you could add if you wanted to add them. And that is all I do for the wreath in the front. All we got left is to glue down something to hang it with, and I decided to use some jute. And that is all for this project. I absolutely love all of the DIYs in this video. I hope you do as well. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Which one was your favorite? Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Share the video with somebody you think will love these ideas, and I will see you on my next DIY. Bye.